Hello, everyone. My name's Omar, and I'm here with my co-host Michael, and we'll be leading us through the club executive training for ClubRunner. Thank you all so much for coming. I do want to mention this is more focused on the club websites, and we'll jump right into it. So let me go over our topics here. So some of the actions we'll be taking as a club executive for the account will be updating our club information and club executives list, otherwise known as the organization chart. We'll also be reviewing all of the member profiles in our club account, as well as reviewing their access levels to make sure that any site administrators or club executives have their appropriate access and can make those changes on your club database. We'll also be taking a look at the RI integration settings. The demonstration account doesn't have the settings set up, but I'll make sure to show you where you can look to make sure your RI, Rotary International integration settings are set. And we'll also be creating a meeting in the attendance, taking our attendance for that meeting, and I'll show you where the reports are. And finally, I'll make sure to also show you guys how to create a bill in the club database and then email that out to your membership. So without well, thank you all for coming. Let's jump into it. I do want to take a moment to show you where you can build your own club logos on Rotary International. So I've pulled up my.rotary.org right here on my browser. I've already logged in. If you'd like to make a custom club logo for your club website, in this News and Media tab, you can click this Brand Center, and then Rotary's Branding Center will open. I'll show you where you can go to create the logo. I won't go through the whole process, but here in the Brand Center, if you go to Materials in the top bar here, you can click Create Your Own, and then you'll have a few templates you can choose from to create your logo. And this is important because first you'd like to make your logo, and then we'll update the club information with that new logo. I've already created one from the Brand Center, and I'll make sure to show you guys how to get that in. So that's the Brand Center. Let's jump into the club account. I've got that pulled up right here. I've actually already logged in. To log
Sorry,
into
Omar.
Yes.
Sorry to interrupt you, but I wanted to say one thing before we go ahead and get started. If any of you guys have any questions during the webinar, I will be taking care of all of them. Feel free to go ahead and click on the Q&A box or button within Zoom, and that will allow you to put in any questions that you would like, and I'll be able to respond back to you directly. So please do make sure to put any of your questions into that Q&A section, and I'll be glad to help and get them answered for you.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you for the PSA. Pardon me for missing that. Yes, Michael is taking care of your questions in the Q&A box. So if you'd like to submit your questions, you'll see it at the bottom of your Zoom chat. It's Q&A, and it looks like two speech bubbles. And once you click that, we'll get your questions, and we can take care of them over the course of the webinar. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you for that reminder, Michael. And I do want to mention to everybody that this webinar is being recorded. Just so you know, your videos aren't being recorded, so it's just us and the content I'm sharing here. So thank you again for all coming, and thanks for the PSA. So I've pulled up our club website. Again, I've already logged in the top right. For you, you may see a member login link here. I've already logged in, and after logging in, that'll update to member area. So let's go ahead and click the member area link to be taken into the club's member area. Oh, it looks like my credentials were lost. Let me just quickly get logged back in here. There we are. So once we're in the club member area, the first few things as a club executive I'd like to check are to make sure our club information is correct and our executives are listed correctly. So let's go ahead and get started. So in your club member area, in the top blue bar, you can click admin and then club info and settings to be taken to your club information and settings. Let's go ahead and click that link, and that'll take you to the club information page to update your club logo with that new logo you got from the Rotary Branding Center. You can hover over your logo in the top left here and click change. And then once you do that, you can click this edit link, and that'll take you to your club's logo. To upload a new logo, I'm going to click this load from image library button. It'll load a file explorer on my device, or pardon me, a file explorer on the club database here. I'm going to upload my logo to the club logo library. So to do that, I'm going to click this green upload button, and that'll upload or open my file explorer. Here, I have created that logo from the Branding Center. I'm going to double click it, and that'll add it to our club logos. And I'm going to double click this, And after a short delay, yep, it'll update our existing club logo, and we're done with updating the club logo. So that's something you can just quickly make sure of after you get your new logo from the Rotary Branding Center. You can just quickly throw that into your club logo after logging in. Okay, so that's reviewing the club logo. For your club's information and details, you can look at the club details section here, again on the club information page. If you'd like to make changes, you can click that gray edit pencil icon up here in the top right of each section. You'll see that for the club details, the meeting section, the contact information section. Let me show you a feature we have for the meeting section. So a lot of these fields are editable, but I just want to cover some of the more important features for you while I cover this material. So let's go ahead, click this edit icon for the meeting section. Up at the top, you can enter your club's regularly scheduled meeting time and any meeting comments you'd like to enter. You can just use this day dropdown to select the day, enter a time, say, let's go ahead and just update this to 7:00 p.m. is fine. And that's your club information. Below that, you can also include your online meeting information. And this meeting information is only visible to logged in members once they're logged into your club website. So once you check this Our Club Meets online, you'll have the opportunity to include a meeting URL as well as some private details that the members will only see after logging into the club website. And all of this will appear on your club's homepage in the club information widget, which we'll sort of cover in the website administrator webinar. But I do want to mention this private and online Zoom or meeting feature in your club meeting details. So that's the online meeting information. Below that online meeting information, you can include your club's meeting address and the whole 9 yards, address line 1 all the way to postal code. And once you have that in there, you can actually check this update latitude/longitude checkbox. And once you do that and save it, the system will automatically grab the longitude and latitude for you. So don't be alarmed if you click this checkbox and the fields don't appear. Just check it, click save, and these fields will populate for you. Once these fields are entered, Google Maps will actually display where your club meets in this section here on the club information page, as well as if you decide to show that in the club information widget. I don't want to spend too much time on just the club information. Let me show you some other actions you can take as a club executive on your club website to reach out to your club membership and review the membership list. So let me show you the communication module. So after updating your club information, say you'd like to send out a PSA or some notice to your club's membership. To do that, we're going to use the communication module in the top blue bar. I'm going to go ahead and click communication. And once I click communication, I'm going to click email services in the gray bar just below. Okay, and that'll take us to the club communication page. If we had sent prior emails with the account, they would appear here. We can also, as a site administrator, I'm using site administrator access level, we can view all the emails. Don't concern yourself too much with that. I want to show you sending an email here. So I'm going to click this orange compose new message button in the top right. And that'll open up our create email page. In step 1, we can select our users. I'm going to just go ahead and select all of the active and honorary members by clicking this active and honorary members checkbox. We can see 16 out of 19 members are chosen. Let's further dig down and see why and who has not been selected. So to further dig down and select individuals, we can click this plus icon beside the group, and that'll split it up into its subgroups where we can click the expand link to view the individuals. So I see the active-corporate are all selected, the honorary members are all selected. Why are some of the active members not being selected? Only 13 out of 16. Let's find out by clicking this blue expand link. Once I click this expand link, we can see the exact members who are checked for our email. We can also unselect them by unchecking their checkbox. For some members, we can see that the checkbox doesn't exist. For example, Charles Hampton here, he is opted out of club emails in his profile settings, and that's why we cannot select Charles for this email. And I'm not necessarily sure if that's the same reason here. For Lay, it looks like her email address is invalid, and I'm just doing this by hovering over where the checkbox would be and reading that tooltip text. So In case you're missing some recipients after checking that whole group, you can further dig down by clicking that plus icon beside the group and then the expand link to open up the individuals in the list, and then either choose them individually or hover over why you can't select them and find out why. And if you still can't figure it out, definitely reach out to us from our knowledge base, clubrunnersupport.com, and I'll show you guys that closer to the end of the webinar. But definitely check out this feature while you're sending emails to your club members and contacts too. So we've selected our active and honorary members. I'm just going to do something similar for our other user list. I'm just going to choose only the exchange students, and to do that, I've expanded the group into its subgroups by clicking this plus icon and then check the exchange student checkbox. Okay, that's all I'm going to select for the recipients. Let's move on to creating the email. I'm just going to title this email Club Announcement, July 30th. And that's basically the subject. That'll be the title of the email appears in the members' inboxes. Below that, we can begin with our email content. Thank you all for attending, for example. You very much. Just to have some example text in our email. I also want to show you, so I've entered some text into our email, but you can also enter merge fields into your emails. And to do that, I'm going to create some space between my opening two sentences here. And to say add the recipient's first name, we would click this recipient dropdown, choose recipient first name, and as soon as we click it, it'll add this $first_name field, and that field is automatically replaced with the recipient's first name. And you can do similar actions for other merge fields. Say you'd like to include your sender information, you can choose the sender first name and just click it from this dropdown, and then click this gray add button, and that'll add the sender first name merge field. You can also add your last name, middle name, and so on, as well as your club account information. And that's what this account merge field is. So this is all the club information. Okay, those are our merge fields. I don't want to spend too much time fussing about the email content. Let's say this is good enough for now. Let's scroll down some more. You can include attachments for your email in step 3 by clicking this select files for upload button. Once we click this, a file explorer on our machine will open here, and I'm just going to use that same Greentown logo JPEG that we created. And once we send out this email, we'll take a look at the email statistics, see who of our club has received it, and if anybody has any issues receiving the email, we'll take a look at the club's manage block email list to remove them and go from there. Okay, so we've got our attachment in the email. In step 4, we can choose to include a list of recipients. It's just a plain text list of all of the recipients for the email, and they'll be attached to the email. So you can choose to add that list of recipients to the email. You can totally skip this step. We're just going to pass by it. In step 5, you'll have some options to either schedule the email to send at another point, or by default, send the email right now. Let me show you what the scheduling function looks like. So as soon as I click schedule, we'll have this date calendar icon that we can click and then choose a date, say July 29th for our reminder. And then beside that date box, you'll have this time field, and you can use these 4 arrows to choose the time field. Let me show you what that looks like. So I'm just going to click the up arrow, and it looks like we're going to start at 5. Let's set it to 5:15. So I've selected the minutes, and now I'm going to choose the down. 5:15. Pardon me. I'm going to choose the up arrow until we get to 5:15. Okay. You can also just highlight the field and then replace it with your own text. So I'm just going to highlight the minutes and then type in 20. And let's stick with 20. So we've got our scheduled email. I actually want to send it now so I can show you the statistics. So let me change it back to send right now. And we're happy with the content. Let's click the orange send button in the bottom right of the page here. It'll prompt you to make sure you're sending to the number of recipients. Let's click OK. Okay, and once you click OK, you'll be brought back to your club communication page. It may say that the email is queued for sending. It means the system is working to list those recipients, build the emails, and send them out. It shouldn't take too long. What I'm going to do is let's just open up the membership module, and then I'm going to return back to the email services to show you that the email is sent. So I've gone to the membership members list, and that's where we are now. Let's return to the communication email services. And I see the sending is in progress instead of being queued to send. Let's hold on a second. Let me show you the blocked email list, and we'll return to this email to view the statistics. So say, for example, after sending your email, if a member didn't receive the email, if their email address had rejected the message, the system would be notified, and you could review the reason the member had didn't receive the email from the communication manage blocked emails list. So again, I'm just going to click communication in the top blue bar and then manage blocked emails in the gray bar just below. And that'll take us to the blocked email list. And here we see a bunch of example email addresses. And the reason they were blocked is because the email address is invalid. So these email addresses just aren't operational. If your members have different reasons, and they will, they'll probably have different block reasons. Typically what we suggest is if the issue is intermittent, just in that one case, you can unblock the email address by clicking this drop-down arrow in the actions column and then choosing the unblock option. And that'll allow you to attempt to send them another message, and hopefully the next time it doesn't bounce or become blocked. And I do want to mention, while a member or contact is on this manage blocked email list, any future emails to the contact will become dropped as to preserve your email credits on your club database. So do check out your club's blocked email list. Make sure that it is reviewed, and any member or contact email addresses are unblocked, and then you can send them another test email to see if it ends up with them properly or if they're re-added to this blocked email list. I'm pretty confident the email we had just sent out is sent. Let's go ahead and look at the statistics for the email. And to do that, I'm going to click communication in the top blue bar and then email services, the same page we had sent the email from. So I've come back and we can see that it's been sent on July 12th, 4/14. To view the statistics, I'm going to click this drop down arrow and then stats. Okay, and here I see I've sent it to a number of people. 5 people have been sent the email. 1, it looks like our support email address has received my test email and opened it. Be wary though, this open statistic can change as an application on, say, your member's device opens it, but the member actually hasn't opened it. Say they get a notification toast, sometimes that can change the status. So definitely look out for this sent statistic. Other statistics such as the dropped, blocked, or bounced, check out your emails, your managed blocked email list to see if that person's listed there. Otherwise, all the other emails should be sent. So we've got our sents, we've got 1 opened, and below that we have some dropped email addresses. And these drops are what I'm referring to when I say that this contact is already on your club's blocked email list. So because, say, Judith Draper here was sent an email earlier, it was found as an invalid email address. Future emails, while she's on the managed blocked email list, will appear with this dropped status, and the system will not attempt to send them a message. So definitely check out your managed blocked email list to make sure it's being taken care of, and people who do report blocks are being sort of worked with to get those unblocks and make sure they receive the emails. Okay, that's about as, you also have some options to review your club's communication. Say if you're a site administrator, you can check out this email traffic report to see all of the emails that have been coming from your club's account. Once you're here, you can click this details link, and then it'll show you the emails that have come out of your account. Okay, I don't want to spend more time on the communication module. Let me jump into reviewing your member profiles and assigning access to members who should have that advanced access. Either they're the club executives or whatnot. Actually, before I jump into membership, let's start with membership. So I'm going to stick with membership, and then let's go to members lists, and that'll open up our active members list. So here in the club, we can scroll to the bottom to view our total membership count. We've got a total of 19 members in our demonstration account, 16 active, 2 honorary, and 1 active corporate. To review a profile, I'm just going to hover over the member's name and click their name. Okay, and I've done that for Baker Sue here. Once we've opened up their profile, you'll get something that looks like this. In the top left, you'll see their profile picture along with a few tabs. If you'd like to change a member's personal information, such as their address information, email information, or phone number information, you can just click this blue edit link in the top right of the profile, and the page will reload with all of the fields that you can customize, highlighted or available to edit. Let's go ahead and just update her phone number to 4321, just to show that you can open up the edit page and make those changes. So I'm just going to reverse the last 4 digits of Sue's phone number, and I'm going to save the changes by clicking this orange save button in the top right of the page. Okay. And once that's done, let's quickly make sure that our phone number is updated. There we are, 4321 instead of 1234. Also, earlier in the webinar, I alluded to reviewing your members' access. You can do that from the member profile here in the settings tab. So let's go ahead and click settings. You will find the members' access level right here on the left side of the page. And so long as your profile has a elevated access level, say 60 editor. Let me show you. It's probably easier just to show you. So I'm going to click the edit button to edit the settings tab, and then click the club access level. And once I do that, we'll have the option to increase this member's access level all the way to our account's access level, the highest, 30-site administration. And you can sort of divvy that up as you'd like. Some notable access levels I'd like to mention to all of you club executives are the Club Executive 50 access level. This access level allows you to add website content to your club website, edit the member profiles, as well as review and update your club's documents and club information. So this is sort of the most common advanced access level. All other members should have the 70 member access level, which is the default access level. It'll allow them to use their search member directory, send emails to other members in the club, and that's mostly where it ends. They can look at the documents, but 70 is a little more limited. 50 club executive allows the club executive to build content for the website, edit the member profiles, review documents and other club executive positions. Really, a lot of functionality begins at 50, and then 30 site administration is when the site administrator can begin working on your club homepage or create new custom pages. So website content and the homepage designer are split. Website content is simply building up a website story that'll be posted to your club homepage, where the site administrator would make sure that gets posted into your homepage. So that's the difference. 50 club executives can sort of build that content, and I guess I should also say editors can build that website content, but are not able to view member profile or edit member profile. So that's the difference between 60 and 50. Okay, so I don't want to spend a lot more time on access levels. If you have more questions, definitely check out the ClubRunner knowledge base and our access levels guide. It has a bunch of screenshots to show you exactly where members with an access level can access the member area. So definitely check that out. Just the short form is site administration is everything. Club executive is the member profiles and website content. Editor is just website content, and 70 is just the regular access level. Okay, I'm going to bump Sue up to a 50 just to show that we can change this. And I'm going to go ahead and click this orange save button. And I guess while we were creating our email earlier, we had found that Charles Hampton didn't have, or pardon me, opted out of the email addresses from the club. So let me show you where you can adjust that for your club members here. So we're not quite done editing the member profiles. Let's find Charles Hampton here. I see him right here. Let's click his name, or our tester's name, to enter their profile. And that'll take us to Charles's profile. In the profile here, you can review the email settings from the privacy tab. So I'm going to go ahead and click privacy. And once I do that, we can see right away the club emails setting is set to off. So they're not receiving club emails. And that's why we couldn't select Charles for our email. Let's go ahead and change that. I'm going to click this blue edit button. Typically, that's where the edit button is, at the top right of the page. And once you click that, the fields on the page will become editable. And I'm going to check club emails and click the orange save button. Okay, and that should allow Charles to be selected for further emails at the club. Okay, so that's sort of access levels in a nutshell, and editing your member profiles. one resource I find a lot of club administrators and club executives really look for is downloading a report of your members' information and any other custom fields you enter or your site administrator enters for the profile. So to do that, we're going to use the same membership module and then click download member data. You'll see it on the right side of the gray bar just below here. So I'm going to go ahead and click that. And that'll take us to our download member data page. Here at the top in step 1, you can choose exactly which fields in the member profiles you'd like to add to the report. I'm just gonna, for simplicity's sake, I don't want a lot of this information. I'm gonna click this unselect all link to uncheck everything. Really, we're just interested in their names, first and last, Rotary ID, if I can find that here, Rotary member number, it is here somewhere. If I can't find it very soon, we'll just move on. That's okay. We'll move on. And I want to include their email address. So let's go ahead and check email. Just another, there we are, member number. I was looking for it. So we found the member number, first and last name and email address. And I think that's good. If you'd like more information, so long as there is a field in the member profile, you can check it from the step 1 and then include it in the report. So we're just going to stick to these 4 fields. Moving on, we can customize the filters we'd like for the report. I want all of the members, but you can drill it down to just your active members or just active and honorary or all 4 of them. I do want to mention you can also include other user profiles created at your club. So say you have a staff member, you can add them as a member by using that other user list. As a matter of fact, I think that's a good idea to go over the add new member process. So I'll go ahead and do that. But if you have other user profiles similar to your member profiles, you can check other users and then choose which other user you'd like to include. And I just want staff. So I'm just going to go ahead and uncheck the rest here. And I'm not even sure if there are staff other user profiles, but let's just have it for the report. Below the membership type, you can further apply some filters such as their date joined Rotary, club join date, date terminated. I'm going to leave all of this as all. So it's just going to search for only the filters we've applied for the membership types. And once you have your filters set, you can go to the bottom here and choose to generate the report. In step 3, you'll have the option to save the report for future use. Let's go ahead and show you this real quick. I'm going to say membership report, name, email, Rotary number. And I'm just going to throw in some commas just to make it more clear what I'm saving here. Okay, and I'm going to click this orange generate button. We'll take just a moment to generate the report. Once we save that report, it actually appears right here in our saved searches. If I click it, it'll load our filter and our step 1 fields that we're looking for. So it's already set. I'm not going to click it, but if you do save it, it's right here in the top left, my saved searches. At the bottom of the page, we can download the report. So I'm going to scroll back to the bottom, and right here we have a blue download button. I'm not going to bother downloading it and opening it, but once you download it, it's just a spreadsheet file. It'll open in your Excel program or any other spreadsheet software you have, and then you can review the data. So that's how you can download your member data to your device. Let me show you how you can go through the steps of adding a member. I'm sure that's super important. So in the same membership module, I'm going to click member lists. Okay, and I was referring to other users and those other user types from your active members list. You can review your other user list in the top left here. I've got my cursor in the top left of the browser here. And if you'd like to review your other user list, you can click other user list, and that'll open up other users, not quite members, either exchange students, staff members, or you can assign them the other user type if it's truly miscellaneous. Let's return to the active members list. And on both of those pages, you'll have the orange add new member button in the top right. Let's go ahead and click that. And that'll open up the add new member form. At the top, we can choose their membership type. I'm going to leave it as active, but we do have the honorary membership type as well as 2 additional active-satellite and active-corporate member types. Just be aware that this satellite and corporate active member types are integrated to Rotary International as active member types, so long as your RI integration is set. And I'll touch on RI integration closer to the end of our training session here. So let's leave it as active. I don't know the member's member number. Let's say they're a brand new member and they joined today. So let's leave the join date today. I'm going to give this member, let's just go ahead and use my autofill here. I'm going to name them Omar, and S is fine. Let's just use my autofill settings here, and let's assign them the gender. Basically, any of these fields with an asterisk and orange text are required. So I'm going to leave a lot of the other fields, but while you're filling out your member profile, it's probably a good idea to include their email address so that once they're added, the system will send them an email confirming they've been added to the database. So I'm going to leave email empty, but keep it in mind, you can include that. And at the bottom of the form, you can send an email to them, letting them know they've been added. The next fields are the address. I'm just going to use my autofill here just to fill in the information. I'm going to choose Ontario, and ho 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 sounds good to me. And so we've set our members' profile information. We've given them an address. We haven't entered an email address. So this final ClubRunner account send email notification to member isn't really apt. But if you enter an email address, that email address is receiving this email notification. I want to also mention you can update your members' username and password information. So you can change this to whatever. Let's just go ahead and change it to Omar.s. and then keep the default password 9723. And so long as all the fields are full, we can click this add member button at the bottom right of the page, and it will work to add them to the database here. So I'm going to return back to the membership list, and we should find Omar, aptly named after myself here, in our membership list. And there he is. And actually, this is a good sort of segue into terminating a member. So let's go ahead and terminate our example member here. To do that, I'm going to click this blue change status link on the right side of the page. Okay, and once we do that, we'll have a few options to change their membership type. Really, we're just looking to terminate them. So we're going to use the Thank you. So we're just going to use the terminate membership button at the top blue bar here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that for our example profile here. For the termination date, let's keep it today. It says X member as of. Let's keep it today. Let's choose a reason for their termination. I'm going to choose disinterest. So I'm going to select disinterest from the list of options here. And finally, with this club's set RI integration, we have this report this termination to Rotary International option. And so long as this is set and your club's integration is set, once we click the blue terminate member button, the integration system will send Omar S's termination to Rotary International for integration. So they'll be terminated from both your club's ClubRunner database as well as your Rotary International membership roster. So make sure this termination is on if you guys have your RI integration settings set. So I'm going to leave it as yes, let's report this and terminate our new member profile here. Okay, so I've terminated Omar S. If we look at our membership list, he's not listed here. Let's go ahead and open up our inactive members list. And to do that, I'm going to stay in the membership member list. It's going to reload here, and then inactive members list just below the other user list. And I'm going to go ahead and click inactive member list. And here we can find our terminated profile for Omar S here. Okay, and I'm going to leave that there. Yeah. Let's carry on here. So I've been talking about the RI integration and sending your changes over to Rotary International. Where can you check to make sure your club is integrated to Rotary International? I'll tell you where. In the top blue bar, we're going to click RI integration about in the middle. And in the gray bar just below, we're going to click RI integration settings. It's the leftmost item. Okay, and once we click that, you'll be brought to your RI database integration for your club name. Scrolling down the page, if your club has checked the integration, it'll show that the integration has been turned on and give you a time for when your club has turned on the integration. If you have not yet turned on the integration, use these steps in step 1 to open up your club's my.rotary.org website for your club, and then choose ClubRunner as the read and update vendor so that we can send changes from the database to Rotary to integrate for your club. So that's once you check that checkbox, you'll be asked to return to this page and then check this page to enable the integration. We have a guide that'll take you through that whole process. Really, You'd log into myrotary.org, choose ClubRunner as the read and update vendor, data management vendor, and then returning to this page, you'll see that you'll have a checkbox option to enable the integration. And then after about 24 hours, the integration will turn on for your club, and any changes to your club's ClubRunner database will be integrated to Rotary International automatically. I'd like to say in reverse, if you make changes at my.rotary.org, those changes will not automatically integrate into your club's database. You would be able to manually compare your member profiles and review that information, but just keep that in mind. When you're making changes at my.rotary.org, they're not automatically coming down into your club website, where if you're making changes in your club's ClubRunner database with the RI integration, it is automatically being sent to Rotary International for you. Okay, finally on this page, once your club has all of that integration set up, the notification contact for any integration issues, say a member was attempted to be transferred but still was part of their prior club, they were still active at their last club, this notification contact, whoever's set here, would be notified that the member couldn't be transferred or added or terminated for the reason that the integration system cannot process that. Say you tried to terminate a member, but it was outside of the 30-day limit. This person would be notified that that integration could not be processed, and it would elicit the reason why the change could not be made. So keep that in mind. This RI integrations module, RI integration settings page, just so you can check your club's integration and make sure it is operational. Once your club has the integration turned on, you'll have a few more options. This test account isn't directly connected to Rotary, so I don't have more features that I can show you, but what I want to mention is if you receive any integration notice that you're not sure how to proceed, or you're finding some problem between the membership lists, definitely reach out to us. I think you can click this help link and be taken to our ClubRunner knowledge base. Let's go ahead and just show that off. I'm going to click help. And in a new tab, it'll open up the ClubRunner knowledge base, and say you have that email you're not sure what to do with, you can click this contact us button in the top right of the knowledge base, and a new form will open where you can send us an email saying, we tried to make this change and it didn't integrate, please help. And then we'll open up your account and make sure that whatever change wasn't synchronized, we'll follow up with you and explain why it wasn't changed and how to fix it, or perhaps it's just a matter of marking it as resolved and everything's already done ahead of time. So just keep that in mind. If you receive a notice, you're not sure where to go from there, definitely click that help link, or go to clubrunnersupport.com, and in the top right, click that contact us button. We'll definitely assist you with figuring out what didn't integrate, why, and how to fix it. Okay, so that's a lot of the integration, just making sure it's set up. And if while reviewing your membership, you receive any notices, reach out to us and we will assist further. I want to move on to the attendance module and creating a meeting with attendance. So let's go ahead and scroll back to the top of the club website here. And in the top blue bar, I'm going to click attendance right here. And then once I click attendance, I'm going to click meetings in the gray bar just below. Okay, and once it loads for me, we'll be on our club's meetings list. We'll take just a moment here. Okay, it's taking a little bit longer than I'm used to. So, okay, there we go. As I speak, it loads. What do you know? So here we are on our club's meetings list. Let me go to the previous year to see if I can show you some statistics from before. So I'm on 2020-2021, and here we have some meetings that were created at the club, and a club executive had gone in to make those changes to the attendance. These meetings have all been closed just to calculate their percentage scores, and the attendance has been scored. But let's make a new one, take our attendance and pump out that reported score. So let's go back to our current year, 21-22. To add a meeting, I'm going to click this orange add meeting button in the top right. Let's describe it as July meeting 1. I'm just going to title it that and then save it. And here we have our July meeting 1 on July 12th. I'm going to click the meeting date to open up the meeting reports. And here we are. At the top, it'll have the calculations for the meeting attendance, but we haven't entered our meeting attendance. So that's why it displays as 0. Let's go ahead and just punch in some numbers here. To do that, I'm going to scroll down and click the attendance tab. And below that, we'll have our active members as well as other member type records like the honorary members. So let's just go ahead and say these members had joined. You'll note that some member names appear in either a blue or orange color, and that means that they're part of an attendance rule grouping, either to exempt them from attendance, excuse them from attendance, or they're on a leave of absence where their attendance isn't negatively affecting the meeting report. So let's go ahead and check them. We can check, say they've attended. For each of these groups, there'll be a different way of calculating how they are affected. So actually, as a matter of fact, it's listed right here for us in the never count group. Leave of absences and exempted members won't affect the attendance scoring at all, and honorary members as well as excused members will only count if they attended the meeting, i.e. they'll only help boost your score. If they don't show, they want to bring it down further. So I'm just going to carry on here. Let's say these are the active members who've joined. Let's select both of our active members and save the selections here. And it is taking just a moment to save our statistics. There we are. We've saved the meeting and it's pumped out our percentage score. This is really good for our demonstration club, but it is what it is. And once you have your meeting complete, you can close the meeting to lock in the attendance. I do want to mention you can always come back to the meetings, reopen it, change the attendance, and then reclose it to update your meeting percentage. So we're done with the attendance. Let's go ahead and click close. I want to see if we can actually, before I proceed with closing the meeting, I want to mention you can add guests who've attended the meeting by using this guest tab. And it's very simple. Once you click that guest tab, you'll be brought to the guest page here, and you can click add guest, this orange button on the right, and this add meeting guest form will appear. It'll allow you to enter their first name, last name, email address, and a note if you'd like to add them as the contact. Once you add them, they'll be added to your club's contacts module as a meeting guest. So just keep that in mind. You can also add meeting guests. I want to mention, once you click this checkbox, and if this guest includes an email address, they will be notified that they've been added to your club database. So just keep that in mind when you're adding guests. If you include an email address, they will be notified that they've been added to your club database. If you'd like to not notify them, you can skip entering the email address for now and then add it to the contact record later. And that'd be a good way to work around that. Okay, so I'm gonna, let's go ahead and just save as test person. So I'm just gonna call them, I'm just struggling with the name here. I'm gonna call them Bob and Graver. Okay, and I'm sated with that name. Let's go ahead and check this checkbox to add them to the database and save the record. Because Bob doesn't have an email address, he wouldn't be notified. But again, if one was added, they would be notified that they've been added to the database. Okay, there we go. We added Bob to our meeting here. Lastly, and I do want to get to, pardon me, the dues and billing portion module, and that'll be another few minutes. So I don't want to spend too much more time, but let me show you makeups. Say a member has missed a meeting and has made it up by either attending some extracurricular event and would like it to reflect on their attendance. You can take that credits and make a makeup for them and then assign it to them for the meeting. And to do that, I'm just going to click this makeups button from our meeting here. And it's going to load up the makeup information for the meeting here and any members who've missed the meeting. So it's sort of doing some calculations. And here we see Ni Quang has missed the meeting, and it's prompting us that they have 2 makeups that would be eligible for this meeting. To add them, we can click this blue add makeup link, and then it'll open up the makeups page in the attendance module with our meeting already selected, this July 12th meeting. So with Ni selected, I'm going to enter the makeup, say attended extracurricular event. Oh, I'm spelling that incorrectly. Let's just go ahead and use auto spell. Very good. And with setting our member the makeup date that it is being applied for, the description, and makeup type, we can apply to this meeting. But let me elaborate a little bit on makeup types. So we've selected the apply to meeting makeup type, which directly would take this new makeup and apply it to the meeting for the member. You can also bank makeups, and that's what we first saw for me. When we went to apply makeups, it said 0 out of 2, which implies that the member has available makeups to apply for the meeting. And you can go into the banked makeup and then choose the apply to meeting makeup type and then select the meeting. And finally, we have this auto assign makeup type, which will take the makeup that you're creating and assign it to the first eligible meeting that falls within your makeup eligibility window. And I know that sounds like a bunch of garble, but basically you can set a window, say 30 days out in the past and future, and the makeup will look for a meeting 30 days in the past or 30 days in the future from its makeup date, and then automatically assign itself to the earliest meeting in the past for the member, so that all of the makeups are lined up with earliest created to earliest meeting, and then so on. So that's the 3 different makeup types. Banked just sort of keeps it in storage. It's not affecting attendance scores. Auto assign will automatically assign it to the earliest available meeting, and then the apply to a meeting makeup type, which just applies it to a meeting. And we're going to do that for me. We're going to assign it to this July 12th meeting that we've just created. With all that information entered, we're going to click this orange save button, and that'll take us back to our July meeting. On the makeups tab, we can see that NE is listed under the makeup section with their makeup description and date that we had created. Okay, you can also unassign it, but we're good for now. We've entered our guests, we've taken the attendance, we've created and assigned a makeup. Let's go ahead and close the meeting and shortly here jump into the dues and billing module. So once the meeting's closed, there we are. We see our attendance score, and it's giving us a year to date. You also have a bunch of report options to create custom reports from all of the attendance data entered in. Let me quickly show you the customized attendance report. So I'm going to click customize attendance report. It'll automatically set the date range up to 3 months in the past. And with that, we can see the meetings from the date range, and if the member had attended the meeting, or if they had received a makeup, or if they were in a excused or exempted status. So here we see Sue has attended all of the meetings. Lay bracket is appearing with this purple box, and if we scroll to the bottom, it'll give us a little legend, and purple indicates that the member was on a leave of absence during the meeting, and that's why Lay appears with the 100%, because she's on leave of absence and these missed meetings are not affecting her. Okay, so you can use this customized attendance report to sort of drill down into the members and their individual meetings, or you can go attendance report by year to get a more general sense of the attendance. I'm going to go to back year because there's last year, because there's more information there, and you can see the members cumulative running averages for their meeting attendance. So there's lots of reports. Definitely check them out. One thing I want to highlight before we jump into the dues and billing module is this attendance rules and settings. Once I click attendance rules and settings, this is the makeup eligibility window I was referring to. So for this club, it's set to 365 days. So it'll look a whole year in the past up to a year in the future when you create a makeup, and it'll auto assign up to a year in the past if there is a meeting the member has missed. Okay, so that's the rules and attendance and creating reports from meetings you've created in your club. Let's move on to the dues and billing section. And to get there, I'm going to go in our top blue bar again, click organization about in the middle, and then dues and billing. It's the 3rd item from the left here. And I'm going to go ahead and click this. And that'll take us to our club's billing home. Here, you can create a bill, send it to your membership, and then review the member account statements. Let me start with the member account statements. We're going to create a bill, send it to the membership, and find it on the member account statements again. So let's click this account statement link in the left-hand menu. And that'll open up our account statements. At the top, we'll have our active members, honorary members, satellite, and so on. To review individual members' account statements, we can click this Show Transactions link. Okay, and for Mickey Dewey, it looks like their previous balance from the prior year has just been rolled up into this year. We can view other transactions by clicking this All Transactions button in the top right, and that'll give us more history here. So for Mickey Dewey, we can see there was a manual payment entered on April 22nd of $30, and on December 14th, 2017, he was charged $20 from a bill titled Dinners. Okay, so that's a really rudimentary overview of the member account statements. You can make adjustments by using this credit adjustment form, debit adjustment form, and cancel transaction form. You can also enter payments for the members by using this payment entry or multiple payments forms. What I want to mention is if your club has an online payment account integrated with your club's ClubRunner database, the bills sent from the club's database will include a pay online link, where once a member clicks that link, they'll have a credit card form where they can enter their credit card information. And once submitted, the payment will appear on their account statement saying online payment with a code to match to the online payment processed through your club's online payment account. If you're interested in learning more about online payment accounts, definitely check out our online payment feature from clubrunner.ca. Let me take just a quick moment to show you where you can find that information. So I've opened up a new tab. I'm going to type in clubrunner.ca into my browser and press enter, and that'll take us to the clubrunner.ca official website. To view the online payment information, I'm going to click features, scroll down a little bit, and you'll see online payments right here. And if your club is interested in signing up for an online payment account to collect donations or send out bills to your membership so they can pay online whatever items you'd like, either the membership fees or meeting meals, we'll go through the steps. Definitely check out this online payment page, and for where you're located, you can click the country. We're in Canada, so I'm just going to click Canada. And for Canada, we've partnered with Bambora, but for clubs in America, we've partnered with Paya, previously known as Sage. And once you've been taken to this page, you'll find the fees to sign up for the account on the page, as well as the application form at the bottom of your club's country location. So for us in Canada, we can apply to Bambora by using this apply online link at the bottom. But for your club, say you're in America, you can click US, and that'll take you to our Paya page where you can learn more about the fees for the account, as well as the application form to integrate this account to your club database for donations, event registrations, and online payments through the billing module. That's enough of this sales spiel. I'll move on back into the club database. Let's get a bill sent to our membership, and then we'll move on to our Q&A section. My colleague Michael will be taking over for me and answering your questions live, and I'll be in the Q&A box. But let's get this bill sent out. So again, in the organization dues and billing tab, we're going to return to the billing home. In the top right of the page, we're going to click the Create New Bill button, and it'll ask us for a description of the bill. Let's go August barbecue. We're billing ahead of time in preparation for August barbecue. Okay, and I'm going to save our bill. Nothing's really in it. We're just creating the title and the description of it. Once we've saved it, we're in our August barbecue bill. To add a billing item, I'm going to click this orange Add Additional Item button, and that'll open up creating the invoice item. I'm just going to title this meal fees, because that was what we're charging for. We're charging, in this case, meal fees. Let's charge $20 for a single meal, and say all of the members have at least 5 meals. And to do that, I'm just quickly going through these fields here to show you that we can set up a bill, send it to the membership. So I've set 5 quantity at $20 a piece for the meal fees for all of our members. If I scroll down, we'll see all of the members have 5 as the quantity, 20 as the unit price, and sorry, $100 is the total, but we're applying tax from the dues and billings configuration settings. I don't have enough time to go over all of these settings and features. If you're interested in learning more about drilling down into a module, on the training page, I'm just going to quickly take you over to our training sign up page. If you scroll closer to the bottom, we have our deep dive series, where actually conveniently dues and billing is the first one listed here, and this webinar will go into all the detail about configuring your settings for your module, creating the bill, setting the billing items, and updating your member account statements. I can only give you just a quickened overview. Okay, so just keep that in mind. If you're interested in learning more about dues and billing or any other module, it's all here at the bottom of the clubrunner.com/training page. You can sign up for one of the deep dive series. Let me go back to our bill. So we've set up the members. I want to mention you can sort of tailor each individual member. Let's say Sue bought 4 and she only has to pay $15, for example. We can just set that information right here for the member. I'm not going to tamper much more. Let's go ahead and save the billing item. And again, you can just add another billing item. Say we'd like to include membership fees at $200 a piece. You can just add that to this bill and it'll accumulate all those totals for each of the members. I'm gonna just keep moving on here. So we've set our item. We can review the billing roster to make sure everybody has 5 and Sue has the 4. Let's skip that. We know what we've created here. If you have multiple items, this may be very helpful to see how much of which item one person has purchased, but let's keep moving. Let's go ahead and generate the invoices. And once we click this orange Generate Invoices button, the bill is being applied to the member account statement. So they will see this August barbecue billing invoice on their member account statements for, I believe it was $113 for their 5 items in tax. So we've created the invoice and we've applied it to the accounts. Let's email the members their invoices. And to do that, I'm going to click this View Individual Invoices link at the bottom of the page. It may take just a moment to load that data for the members. Perfect. And once we have it loaded, it's similar to our billing preview. You'll see the members and the items they purchased. For Sue, we've got a quantity of 4. For everybody else, we have a quantity of 5. To send it to everybody, I'm just going to click this Select All link at the top of the page, and that'll select everybody in the club. And then to email them, all of them, we can click this Email Selected Invoice buttons in the top right of the page. Let's go ahead and do that. Perfect. And once you click that button, it'll take you back to your dues and billing email archive. For some modules, they also have their own email archive. And here we can see the August barbecue invoice is queued for sending. Let's return to this page and hope that the system is done sending those emails. So to do that, I'm going to go back to the billing home from the organization dues and billing. And then once you're here, the email archive is in the reports section in this left-hand menu. I'm going to go ahead and click Email Archive. And there we are. We can see the sending is still in progress. So sort of hoping to show you statistics, but really they're just the same as the communication email services statistics I had showed us earlier by opening up the email services and clicking stats for the email. And it looks very similar to this. You'll see sends opened, hopefully no dropped, but you can manage that, or bounces and blocked. So definitely, I hope this is super helpful with checking out your email stats and making sure that those emails are being reviewed in case some members are not receiving emails. Okay, so that sort of concludes the training. Just to sort of go over it quickly, we had gone into the Rotary Branding Center to create our custom club logo, and then in the top blue bar we clicked Admin, Club Info and Settings to look at our club's information and settings and logo. After that, we had jumped into the membership module, and in the members list reviewed our active member profiles as well as the access levels in the settings tab of the member profiles. I'm just sort of going through the modules here. And then we jumped into the attendance to make our meetings, and in the organization module build our dues and billing. And as I mentioned this, I've completely skipped one thing, to check your club's executive and directors. And to do that, in the organization tab at the top, you're going to click executives and directors, the first item from the left here, and that'll take you to your club's organization chart. Here you can edit an existing position by clicking this blue edit link and then choosing the member from this name dropdown to add to the position. I'm just going to choose Parker Peter and save it, and that'll add him to the president-elect position. And you can also review your previous years. Say you'd like to review a previous year. And finally, you can also add a whole new position by clicking the orange Add New Position button. Let's do that for the current year. I'm going to click Add New Position. From the position title dropdown, if you don't see one that fits your club, you can choose Other, and then in the title field, enter your custom title. Let's say website public image share, for example. And then choose the member name, let's say knee, and save the position. Once it's saved, you'll have them saved here. I guess I do want to mention, you can use these 3 dots to the left of each position, and where else you find these grab points in ClubRunner to reorganize the list of positions. So I'm going to do that for knee. I'm going to click and drag his position, and then I'm going to move it just below secretary. So I'm going to click, drag, and then let go of my cursor, and there it is. It's slotted in as the 4th position in our organization chart. Okay. So that really concludes our presentation here. I hope you guys took away a lot, either fitting your roles more. Say you're your club's treasurer, you may end up living in this organization dues and billing home a little more. Or if you're your club's secretary, you may find yourself going into the membership module, reviewing your member lists, and then using the attendance module to track your club's attendance, as well as a smattering of using the communication module to get those emails out. So I hope you guys got a lot of information out of this. I guess if you have any questions, please feel free to continue to message them to us in the Q&A box below. I'll be handing it over to Michael to answer your questions shortly here, and I will take over the Q&A. So I'm still around. Definitely continue to message us your questions in that Q&A box, and we'll continue to answer them. And I guess I want to just quickly show you some resources before I hand it over to Michael. Definitely check out our clubrunnersupport.com knowledge base. If you have any specific questions, you can check here. You can try to search for the guide. Say you're interested in learning more about makeups. You can type in makeups and it'll try to answer your question for you, and you can try to select the guide. But if you're still not finding your answer, clubrunnersupport.com, this contact us button in the top right, and then you can email us directly and we will receive your message and follow up. I also want to mention, check out the changeover training. If you're more into administering your club, say you're interested in learning more about creating events or updating your club homepage, the webinar tomorrow on Tuesday 13th, also hosted by yours truly, will be going over creating events in your club database, as well as creating newsletters, sending them to your club membership, in addition to making changes to your club homepage and posting the events to your club homepage. So if you're interested in more of the administration side, check out this webinar for tomorrow, same times, and please reach out to us with any questions you have. clubrunnersupport.com. We're clicks away, basically. Send us your emails and we will take care of you and help out. And thank you so much for coming. Without further ado, I want to hand it over to my colleague Michael for questions, and I'll still be in the Q&A box below. So thank you, Michael.
No problem. Thank you very much, Omar. That was a really good presentation. I hope everyone was able to gather some really good information from Omar. This has all been really great. During the presentation, I did notice a bunch of different questions kept coming up. So I do want to go ahead and cover some of those very quickly. So bear with me. I'm just going to steal the screen share from Omar. So let's go here. There we go. So you guys should now be able to see my screen, and I'm currently logged in to a testing website for us currently, so we can go ahead and show you some of these things. One of the big questions that I saw, and I know Omar went through this very quickly and during the start. One question was, how do you set up each member with their username and password in your ClubRunner account? So for this is all set when you're entering in your new members information through the members list. So let's go ahead and we'll cover that very, very quickly. Since we are logged into our member area already, we're going to go ahead and click on membership in the top blue navigation bar. And actually, I'm going to make this just a little bit bigger so that everyone can see it without any issues. Hopefully this should be okay. So we're going to go ahead and click on the membership tab in the top blue navigation bar. And then we're going to go ahead and click on members lists. This will bring us to the active members list page, where we can see we have a list of all of our club members. From here, we're going to go ahead and click on the add a new member button. And this will bring up to the page where we can start entering in all of our new members information, as you know already. So we can enter in things like their Rotary member number, their first and last names, their address, and all things like that. But in regards to an individual's username or password, this is set automatically at the bottom of this page. So right now you can see it's kind of filled out with .9723, and it also has a temporary password of 9723 currently. As you go through and enter in all of this information, so for example, let's go ahead and enter in their first and last name here. So let's say we'll just go Scooby-Doo, because why not? So we're going to see that, and now we're going to scroll down, and you can see that their username has been updated to correctly list out their names. So if this isn't something that, like the automatically generated one, isn't something that the club likes, or you want to provide a specific username for your member, all you really have to do is go ahead and change this to whatever you would like. So we can say this is a username. So we can set it up to pretty much whatever we would like it to be. And if you want to set a password for them as well, you can do that as well. So we can just write in password. I wouldn't recommend using that as your password, as it's not very secure, but you can enter in just about whatever you would like. So that's how you can go about setting your username and password. And you can also do this through their member profile as well, if their record was already created. So I'll go over that briefly as well. Let's go back to the members list page. And from here, we're going to go ahead and we're going to click on one of our members' names to open up their profile. So let's click on John Dean here. And from here, we can go to the settings tab of their profile. Let me zoom in a little bit more. So we have personal Rotary biography, commitments, settings, privacy. For this, we're going to want to go ahead and click on the settings tab. And from here, we can access both the username. So if we click on the edit button, we'll be able to edit that username however we would like. As you can see, we can update this to Dean John if you want. Now, if we wanted to edit the password, let's go ahead and click cancel on that. We can go ahead and click on the reset password option, and this will allow you to enter in a new password for this member on their behalf. They'll still be able to go through the regular password reset process. But if as a site administrator or a club executive, you'll be able to come in here and set a password for them as well. So they don't have to go through that process if you want to make that a little bit easier for them. Another question that I saw a little quite a bit was, how do I add another administrator who is not a member of the club? So in some cases, some clubs may choose to, it can be for whatever reason. I know some clubs choose to hire additional people to come in who aren't actually a member of the club, but they do assist with like regular activities of the club. So that is something that you can do within ClubRunner as well. Once again, we're going to go to membership in the top blue navigation bar, and then we're going to go ahead and click on member lists once again. And this will bring us back to the active members list. But instead of creating add new member here, we're actually going to go on the left-hand side of the page, and we're going to click on other user list. This will be underneath the members category or listing right here. There's other users list right here. We're going to click on that. And this will bring us to a new page. This time it'll be the other users list page as opposed to the active users list page. And from here, now we can go ahead and click on add new member. This will allow you to go through the exact same process as you would at a regular active member. But the only difference being that other user member or other user records that are created this way, they will not synchronize to Rotary. So you can feel free to add any non-Rotarian here, and you'll be able to upgrade their access level to 30 or 50 or whatever you would like, just like you would a regular club member. But this will allow you to make it so that their profile does not interact with Rotary in any way whatsoever. So if you have anyone that's not actually a member of the club, but you want to be able to let them log in and utilize your club's website and the member area in that fashion, you can feel free to create an other user record for them, and they'll be able to log in and do whatever without any issues. Here is another question that we have. How do you select individual recipients for an email? I saw this question pop up a few times, and I know Omar covered this very briefly, but we're going to go ahead and we're going to go over it once more. So we're going to go ahead and we're just going to start composing a new email. So we're going to go to communication, email services, And then we're going to go ahead and click on compose new message just to get that email page opened up. And of course, you can start going through your regular process of putting in your subject line, your email content. But when it comes to selecting your recipients, if you want to select individual members, or you want to break down this grouping a little bit more, so if you don't want to just send it to every single active and honorary member, you can go ahead and click on the little plus icon to the left of it, and that will expand this list just a little bit more, so you can see the more specific categories that you can access. So instead of sending an email to both active and honorary members of the club, you can now choose between just active members of the club. If you have any other active membership types on your club's website, you can select between those as well, and any honorary members. So you can further specify whatever group you want to send it to. Now, if you wanted to send it to an individual member, or just like very, very specific members in general, and not necessarily a group of people, from this expanded view, all you really have to do is click on this expand link, and this will pop up with a new page, or sorry, a new window, I should say, with the names of each of your club's members that are within that group. And you can go ahead and just select whatever individual you want to receive your email. So it can just be a singular person, or you can select a handful of different people. It will only, once you click done, it will only be sent to the individuals that you have selected. So that's how you can go about selecting individual recipients for your email as opposed to a group. And then here is another question that I think would be very, very good to cover for you guys. What is the meaning of the various access levels? I saw this one pop up quite a bit when Omar was speaking about the access levels. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to go over to our ClubRunnerSupport.com website. So again, that's ClubRunnerSupport.com. And I know Omar mentioned this previously as well. It has a bunch of different help articles and resources that you can use. So if you have any questions, feel free to come to this ClubRunnerSupport.com website, and you can either choose to read or view one of our support articles or videos, or you can click on the contact us button in the top right corner to send us an email directly. But back to our access levels in particular, I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to search up what access levels are there in ClubRunner. And you can see here we have it as the first result. So if we go ahead and click on this, this will give us a full breakdown of each of the individual access levels. So we can see here there are 7 access levels that are available. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Wait, 1, 2. Yeah, 7. Sorry about that. I blanked right there. I couldn't count. But there are 7 access levels: site administrator, club president, club executive, editor, membership, restricted, no access. These are all available for you to use. And if you scroll down a little bit further, you'll get a nice little image that'll kind of break down just about everything that they'll be able to access within the club's member area. So as a level 30 site administrator, you will have a lot more tools that you can access than, say, a regular level 70 club member. So with the level 70 club member, this is all they'll really have access to. So for things like, they'll be able to access the My ClubRunner section, which will let them update their profile, take a look at some club directories, send out emails, update their profile, things like that. They'll also have access to the events and volunteer modules so that they can register for events or sign up to volunteer. While a site administrator would have access to just about everything available within ClubRunner. So this is a really nice article. If you ever feel lost or you want more specific information on the access levels, you feel free to take a look at this article. Let's see here. So we have one more question that I found. This is one that Omar, I don't think Omar went over very in depth today, but I do want to make sure that you guys can see this. This is specifically how you can go about reviewing the information that is listed within ClubRunner versus what is in Rotary's databases, so that you can make sure that everything is set up and synchronizing correctly through RI integration. So we can definitely do this through the use of what we call the compare and synchronize tool. Now just bear with me. I'm going to make sure that you guys can see this. Give me 1 second. This browser open up here, and you should be able to see this page. Yes. I'm going to reshare my screen just to make sure that you guys can see it. There we go. So we have this another test account. This is in our development environment so that we can actually test out RI integration without affecting anything. So to access the compare and synchronize tool, we actually have two, and we'll go over both of them very, very quickly. In the top blue navigation bar, we're going to go ahead and click on RI integration. And from there in the secondary bar, we can go ahead and click on compare and synchronize. You'll see the executive compare and synchronize right beside it, and we'll go over that very shortly. So we're going to click on compare and synchronize, and this will load up the page where we can start seeing a list of all of our club members. And if we scroll down a little bit more, there are some other sections here as well that would indicate that there may be some issue with that club member's profile. If you see anyone in here, feel free to reach out to our support team, and we'll be glad to take a look and provide some additional information as to what could be going on. But in general, for any of your club members listed within the members in sync section, all you have to go ahead and click on the compare action. And this will load up a page where you can start taking a look at the information that is listed within ClubRunner versus what is in Rotary's databases, as I mentioned before. So here's the page that we see here. We have the member profile comparison for Bill Bradley, or for Bradley Bill. And if we scroll down a little bit, we can see this big chart or this big list of all of the different information inside ClubRunner and inside Rotary. So on the left-hand side, we have everything listed within ClubRunner. And then in the middle, we have a nice little status indicator just to say whether the information is matching up or not. And then on the right-hand side, we have everything located in Rotary's databases. So in the case of Bill Bradley here, all of their information is matching up correctly, and everything's good to go. There's no issues with Bill. However, if there was some sort of mismatch between the information in ClubRunner, so say, for example, in ClubRunner, Bill has his address 2060 Winston Park Drive listed, but for whatever reason, this information is not available through Rotary either. So this section for their address would be empty on the right-hand side. You would see down the center of this data, these equal signs would actually turn into a different icon. They would actually turn into an arrow of different color pointing either left or to the right. And if we scroll down a little bit, we can see we have a little icon key here. And I apologize that I can't show you an exact example of this in action. But you'll see if the information isn't matching up, you'll have one of these different arrows. And with that, you can click on it to indicate which way you want information to flow. So for example, as we said earlier, if their address wasn't matching up in Rotary's database, they don't have anything listed at Rotary's end, we can take the information that's available within ClubRunner and we can send it over to Rotary to have it updated in their databases as well. So instead of this arrow, you'll see an arrow pointing, or sorry, instead of this green equals sign, you'll see an arrow pointing to the right. And then all you have to do is make sure that you select whatever fields that you want to synchronize. And then you can go ahead and click on the Synchronize Selected Fields button. I'm actually going to, let's see if this will work. I'm going to open up our clubrunnersupport.com website. And I'm going to see if I can pull up a page that'll give you an example of this. I'll use the Compare and Synchronize tool. We can scroll down a little bit here. Okay, yeah, for here. So we can see this little image for, I'm going to see if I can make this a little bit bigger for you. We can see this image here where there's a couple different mismatches. So you can see Lillian's name here is listed as Lillian in ClubRunner, but not in Rotary. So we have these little arrows in between them to indicate which direction your information is flowing. So in this example, if you were to click on the Synchronize to Rotary button at the bottom of the page, this information, so the name from Rotary, Lily, will be pulled from Rotary into ClubRunner and updated in their profile. But the middle name listed in ClubRunner will be sent over to Rotary. And the same thing with their address down here at the bottom. Since it is pointing to the right, the 123 Winston Park Drive address will then be sent over to Rotary and updated on their end. So this 2060 Winston Park Drive address will become the 123 Winston Park Drive. And everything will then be synchronized and put together, and everything will essentially be good to go and matching up, synchronizing correctly. There we go. So that will just about conclude the Q&A session for today. And I know, as Omar mentioned before, and I mentioned this as well, if you have any questions that we didn't get to today, feel free to look them up on the clubrunnersupport.com website, or you can go ahead and click on the Contact Us button at the top right corner, and you'll be able to input all of your information, your contact information, provide some information about your question or any issues you might be having. And what this will do is we'll send an email to our ClubRunner support team. Either myself, Omar, or one of our other support members on our team will be able to respond to your email, answer any questions that you may have, and see if we can investigate any issues you may be running into. So we're always there to help and we're just glad that we're able to help in this capacity. I know we have, about the start of this webinar, we had about 200 individuals in here. So I think it's a great experience for everyone. So I thank you all for joining me today, joining me and Omar today. And so we're just going to go off. We're going to end it there. I hope you guys have a great day. Take care, everyone.
Thank you so much.